Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the player ratings for the Tottenham 4, Everton 0 game that just took place around an hour and a bit ago, just finished. Really bad performance. You'll see more about that on the actual game review videos that we'll do. I believe it's Paul doing it, but just to get into it, Pickford 4, maybe even a 3. Very rare for Pickford. He had probably 2 of his clanger mistakes. Usually has 3, maybe 4 a season. I had 2 of them in this game. One of them just absolutely stupid. Son had him on the ropes for most of the game. And I'll give him a 4 because before we conceded the first goal, he made a few crucial saves against Maddison twice. When Maddison was able to slip in between Keane and Tarkowski, I think he made some good saves there. But I think after the first one went in, I don't know if it was confidence or something, but Pickford he went down the drain after that. Yeah, I think a 4. I think that's if it weren't for those early saves, 3, possibly maybe even a 2. To be completely honest with you, the entire back 4 except Dixon, I'm going to give a 5, and I may give a 4 to Tarkowski. To be honest, maybe Tarkowski and Keane get a 4. I think Keane and Tarkowski were getting caught out way too much. I think just silly mistakes, avoidable things. How Maddison was able to slip between both of them quite a few times without any of them noticing. It's ridiculous. Tarkowski's usually consistent, but I think it's blatantly obvious how much we miss Branthwaite and how little Keane deserves a shot to be playing. Even though, to be honest, I do think Keane was better than Tarkowski this game, but it wasn't by much. Mikolenko, he made a decent little slide tackle to stop what probably would have been a guaranteed Spurs goal being squared across the box, but at the same time, he didn't really do all, and whenever really he was challenged, he lost the duel, to be completely honest with you. The last one, Roman Dixon, I'm going to give a 7. If this wasn't his first game, I'd probably say a 6. But I think he did really well against Odegaard. I think he handled him well. I think he was able to keep him out of the game for a lot of times, forcing Odegaard to, instead of doing what he likes, which is to go one-on-one and drive down the byline, he forced him to go back and forced Spurs to play a different way. I think he offers a dimension of speed, and I think he looks miles better than Ashley Young or Seamus Coleman. We don't really know about Patterson, but I think Dixon's proved after that Young shouldn't be getting another look in while he's around. I know it's only his first game, and I don't want to overhype him, which is why I'm only going to give a 7. I don't think he was our best player, to be honest with you. I think that was someone else, but yeah, I think he did really well. I think he handled the pressure of playing against such a big team really well, and I think even though we lost 4-0, I don't think he comes out of that looking any worse at all. I think he was the only person besides him and someone else who really looked any good that started the game anyway. Moving on to the 2 midfielders, Gay gets a 6. I don't really think he did much. I think he was just average. I think he did okay, and Iroben, I'm going to give a 5. It's quite disappointing. I've got some stuff here, but with Iroben, with how good he was in the first game, but I think he was just being done in by Maddison way too much. He was getting tackled every time he tried to dribble. He had a few defensive actions, but he lost 8 out of his 11 duels. Committed 5 fouls. I just think I think it was a really sloppy game from him. There were still a lot of the positive signs, and I do think we should continue starting him. I think this is one of those games that's bound to happen in an absolute car crash performance. When he's trying to win the ball high up, he's trying to win the ball quickly, you're going to give away a lot of fouls. And I think it's one of those learning curve games. Remember, he's only 21, he hasn't played that much Premier League football. It is to be expected, really, but Irobenham, 5. Decore, same thing, 5. I don't care what anyone says. Decore, the guy, I love Decore, and he's done a load for us in these past few years where we've been we've been up shit's creek, but again, he moves like he's in quicksand. It feels like there's no real attacking threat from him anymore because he's that slow, and whenever he receives the ball, it feels like we're not going to do anything because he just moves in slow motion. And yeah, I think 5, maybe even generous, to be completely honest with you. I think as soon as Ndai replaced him, even though I do have a big gripe of Ndai being played out left for some reason and McNeil being moved into the middle, when countless reports have said Ndai plays better down the middle and McNeil is a good crosser of the ball, so why are we playing him through the middle? But anyway, I think Decore offers nothing in this role anyway. Maybe in a midfield 2, playing deeper where he can play more box to box. I think maybe he can offer more then, but I think at this point, I think this should be Decore's last game starting in this role for Everton, and I think it's blatantly obvious who should be starting in that role now. Harrison, 5. He didn't do anything. He gets back and helps defensively, which is always helpful, but so did Lindstrom when he came on. And I think compared to what we saw from Lindstrom, where within 30 seconds he was getting a shot on target, within a minute or whatever, Harrison offered nothing. And I do think it was a below average performance, to be honest with you. Compared to how impressive he looked against Brighton at times, I think it was really disappointing from him. And yeah, I think a 5 maybe generous, to be honest. And Dwight McNeil, I'm going to give 7.5. I think he was the best player on the pitch for us. I think, even though I do think he should have been moved out to left and Ilman Dye should have been put in the middle, you know, if I just look here at some of the stuff from the game, he had completed all his dribbles, 4 out of 4, 7 passes into the final third, 6 out of 10 of his crosses were accurate. You know, he played a few corners that probably should have been converted into goals, 8 recoveries, 3 defensive actions, 1 interception, 1 tackles, 1 7 out of 10 of his duels, 1 his aerial duel. Again, he did everything he could to try get us a goal this game. And to be honest with you, I see a lot of people going, Calvert-Lewin didn't get the service he needs. I think he probably got it quite a few times from McNeil this game, or other players did and just weren't able to capitalise on it. And Calvert-Lewin, a 6. Again, bang average. I do think the service argument comes in with the rest of the players, but I think these first 2 games, Calvert-Lewin's offered nothing, and he's sitting here asking for a big contract when he hasn't got a sniff of goal in both games, to be completely honest with you. I think genuinely 2 of the worst striker performances I've seen when it comes to just getting themselves involved in the game. He just offered nothing really, and understandably you have to get service to do something as a striker. But if you're asking for over 100 grand a week and this big contract to be this star striker, get a goal at least, you know, or get a sniff of it. If he got a chance and Vicario made a save, that's fair. Someone made a block, that's fair. But what did he do? What did he offer? Nothing. And I don't want to dig him out for asking for a new contract, because I get it. But for the money he's offering, or the money he wants probably, is he even worth close to that from what he's shown in these first 2 games? No. And to be honest with you, looking through his stats here, I'm gonna drop him to a 5. Yeah, I'm gonna drop him to a 5. Yeah, he offered his aerial duels, and but again he won most of his aerial duels, and I'm not gonna really dig him for defensive action because he's a striker, but he just never even looked like he was going to get into the game, to be honest with you. And now getting into the subs, and Dye, I'll give Lindstrom and Dye a 6.5. I think they weren't really. I think Ndai was able to change the game. I think he could have done a lot better. I do think it doesn't help that he was played out out wide, but as soon as both Lindstrom and Ndai came on, there was a difference. We seemed a little better, and it felt like if we were going to get a goal, it was going to be while those 2 were on the pitch. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, I think it's clear that those, maybe less so Lindstrom, because I think Harrison has shown that he can offer something, but Ndai definitely needs to be starting in Decore's place, or even Lindstrom in Decore's place, to be honest with you. And Beto, I'll give a 6. He didn't really do anything, to be honest with you, besides body someone over when he first came on the pitch, and it was given a foul, and in my opinion, it just wasn't a foul. But yeah, and then Armstrong, same thing, 6, came on just to get a little touch of the ball, a little feel of Premier League football. Didn't really do much, to be honest with you. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow me on Twitter at Callum3. Hopefully, next future games, the team can start to come together when people get back from injury. Hopefully, we can see a little bit more positivity in the play. Really disappointing start to the season, but hopefully it's only up from here. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all for the next video that I'm on. Goodbye, everyone.